Call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Okay. First, we are going to swear in our newly elected and re-elected board members.
I, Christopher Moore, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the Board of Education member of the Ohio Central School District on July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2029, to the best of my ability. I, Morgan, solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and will faithfully discharge the duties of Board of Education member of the Central School. 1630, according to the best of my ability. Thank you.
Okay. Now I would like to ask for nominations for school board president for the 26-27 school year. Do we have any nominations?
I would like to nominate Tori Penrod Clark.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Are there any other nominations? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried.
I, Tori Penrod Clark, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the Board of Education President for the Honeoye Central School District for the 26-27 fiscal year according to the best of my ability.
I now turn the board meeting over to President Penrod Clark.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you, everybody. At this time, I'm asking for nominations for Vice President for the Board of Education. Is there any nominations?
I'll nominate Megan Basil.
Okay. Can I get a motion? Do we need a first or is that okay? Second is okay? Okay, just making sure. And are there any other nominations for Vice President? All right, then I need a motion to approve the nomination of Megan Basil as Vice President.
I'll move.
And a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that is carried.
I, Megan Basil, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the Board of Education Vice President for the Honeoye Central School District for the 2026 to 2027 fiscal year, according to the best of my ability.
Okay, next we're moving on to the appointment of district officers and officials for 26-27. There's quite a lengthy list there. Is everyone okay taking these all together?
Yeah.
All right, then I would be looking for a motion to approve the appointments for the 26-27 school year for district officers and officials.
I'll move.
In a second? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Any abstain? That's carried. Next, we are moving on to the designations and authorizations for 26-27 school year. I'm looking for a motion to approve the list of designations that we have before us, including also the authorizations, correct, Jen, for the board meetings?
I'll move again.
In a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? All right, that is carried. And on to the next. It's a lot of pages really fast. Next, we're on number 5, policies and code of ethics. I'm looking for a motion to readopt the policies and code of ethics that were in effect during the 25-26 school year. These would be code of conduct, district investments, purchasing, competitive bidding and offering, procurement of goods and services, alternative formats for instructional materials, allocation of Title I, Part A funds in the district, and comprehensive student attendance. Can I get a motion there?
I'll move.
A second? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstain? All right, that is carried. Next, we will go, I guess I'll start with the part we skipped on earlier. On the behalf of our Board of Education, welcome to the meeting this evening. This meeting is being recorded. The recording will be available shortly through the school website using the link to board docs. We would like you to know that if you have questions or concerns, that we strongly encourage you to utilize the Honeoye Central chain of contact. This will ensure that topics that are of importance to you are directed to the appropriate person and can be looked into in a timely and efficient manner. Before we proceed further, please set your phones and devices to silent or turn them off so that we can conduct board business without disruption. Moving on to public expression. Jen, is there anyone signed up this evening? Then we will forego public expression. And we will move on to kudos. Does anyone have any, Jerry?
Of course. Number 1, graduation. Again, it went off very well. Once people could hear Nate, okay, because the microphone wasn't turned up quite loud enough, but it went very well. I love the way that every one of our graduates, of course, stands up there and we tell them what they did, what they accomplished, what they're going to do. You know, when you go to like a big district and there's 400 kids, you really can't do that. Here, it's great. It was wonderful. Second kudo, National Junior Honor Society induction. I went to, again, just like the Senior National Honor Society. It was very well, a lot of proud parents and grandparents in that. It was very nice to attend. I got up and said a few words. I was asked to, but a few quick words. It was only 30 seconds. Nice, short and sweet. But at any rate, though, it went very well. And from what I understand, they're already trying to get community service hours. So a nice bunch of students that are rewarded, I should say, for their academic achievement and also their leadership. And the third kudo is the start of the capital improvement project. Hey, Bill. and also keeping the community informed, like when the trees come down and people are saying, wait a minute, what's happening to the trees and that. And even though Natalie, even though you said that several times, it's nice to have something come out and say, this is why. Okay. But I know like a lot of younger kids when are going past the playground saying, oh no, it's half gone. It's, but it's a good start. And hopefully by August 16th, we'll have a brand new playground. So.
Anyone else? Karen?
There we go. Thank you. Kudos to teachers and staff for the end of the year. It's tough packing up, but kudos to them for getting through it.
Anybody else? I would just like to give a congratulations to the kindergartners for their moving up graduation ceremony, in which some of the seniors came back in, again for the 5th grade moving up ceremony, and congratulations again to the seniors that graduated, also to the staff, faculty, everybody here that makes a difference in small ways and big ways every day, whether people notice or not, that we couldn't do it without everybody. So I would like to just say thank you for that. And then we are moving on to Board of Education Committee reports and updates. Does anyone have anything there? I know that Facilities Committee was supposed to meet July 2nd, and that was canceled due to lack of participation due to the holiday. But Bill's here tonight, and we'll give a presentation on the capital improvement project from there. And then if no one has anything, then I will turn the floor over to Superintendent Fluke for the superintendent report.
Great, thank you, Tori. I want to start by giving a huge congratulations to the graduating class of 2026. Kudos to Trina Newman and Nate Schneckenberger for an outstanding graduation ceremony, and to senior class advisors Rachel Sherman and Mackenzie Andrews, and the many others who did an incredible job organizing fun and memorable events for our seniors this year. And to Jim Helling and the Richmond Fire Department for everybody's favorite event. We all know what that is. We are also grateful to the Board of Education for being a part of our celebrations in so many different ways, and of course to our students, their families, and our staff. So thank you all. And then let's take a look at a few academic highlights. The class of 2026 achieved a 95% graduation rate, and our June Regents results were outstanding. 5 exams had passing rates of above 90%, including 97 in biology, 96 in chemistry, and 95 in both Algebra 2 and U.S. history. We also saw strong mastery rates, particularly in biology, where nearly half of our students scored an 85 or higher. So stay tuned for our August board meeting, where the whole leadership team will be here to dive further into the academic data results K-12. So that'll be at our very next board meeting. It was also my honor to present the Roger Ward Award this year to Mr. Ian Buckley, pictured here, whose energy, enthusiasm, sense of humor, and genuine connection with students have made a lasting impact. Most importantly, students say he makes them feel seen, valued, included, and excited to be a part of his class. So congratulations again to Mr. Buckley. And lastly, we celebrate David Helling, Gary Hubble, Sheila Madison Pease, and Tara Keller for being selected as this year's HCS Graduates of Distinction, representing the very best of what it means to be a Honeoye graduate. These 4 will be recognized and celebrated during homecoming week in October. So that's October 1st. It's the night of the bonfire, Thursday night. And now I welcome Stacy Talon with highlights and updates from the special ed department. Oh, there it goes. Sorry about that. We usually have it turned on before our guests come up. Thanks, Stacy.
Here, we'll stop.
Thank you. All right. Good evening, everybody. For those of you that I haven't met, my name is Stacy Talon. I'm the Director of Pupil Personnel Services here at Honeoye. And I'd like to also say thank you very much for hosting me this evening. So the focus of my presentation tonight is to inform you on how special education departments are currently overseen by the federal government under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act and by New York State under the New York State Department of Education. Perfect. Okay, so New York State, or NYSET, and the federal government, the IDEA, evaluate special education departments every year. The evaluation is based on two categories, compliance and performance. NYSET state performance plan indicators and IDEA determinations are used to determine compliance and performance scores. The handout that Jen gave you earlier shows the Honeoye CSD IDEA accountability matrix. So that's in front of you. Unless otherwise indicated, the scores are from the 24-25 school year, and the matrix is split up into two categories. There's compliance on the left, and there's performance on the right. And I'm happy to say that Honeoye met the requirements for the 24-25 school year because our overall matrix score is greater than 80%. The calculation is the total points achieved divided by the total number of maximum points. So I'm going to break down the scores for you. So in the compliance section, Honeoye earned 15 points. The total points available to earn are 15. So therefore, we got 100% score for our compliance. In the performance section, we earned 16 points. The total points that you can earn are 18. And so our score in the performance section is 88.89%. This makes our overall matrix score 93.94%, which meets the requirements because it's above 80%. Next. Okay, so this is an improvement from the 23-24 school year when we scored in the needs assistant category. Our overall matrix score back in 23-24 was 77.42%. So where did we lose points? So that's, okay, perfect. We lost points in the graduation rate for 24-25. We had 2 students with disabilities who did not graduate, equaling 22.22% of our seniors with disabilities dropping out or not graduating. The goal is to have less than 18.5%. But I want to explain this a little bit. So dropping out and not graduating is how it's reported to the New York State Department of Education. But it's not necessarily what we view as dropping out or not graduating. If a student per their IEP is alternately assessed, it means that they are incapable of getting a diploma. So the CSE determined that these students are incapable of getting a diploma. That needs to be either 1% or lower of our students with disabilities population. If we go above that 1%, we will, the state ed does audit us. And then we need to explain why we're above 1%. If a student earns a CDOS credential, so a CDOS is a Career Development and Occupational Studies certificate. They are also deemed as not graduating or dropping out. So the CDOS credential basically states that you can get an entry-level position, but you are incapable of getting a diploma. However, students can get a Regents diploma and a CDOS credential together. But if you only get the CDOS credential, then the report is that they did not graduate. So this is the case in our situation in the 24-25 school year. We had 1 student who earned a CDOS, and we had 1 student that was alternately assessed. So that is why we had 2 students that did not graduate.
Does anyone have any questions for Stacey about that before we move on? Because that's important to note. Thank you.
Yeah.
Does that mean graduate on time? Because some of our students can take 5, 6, or 7 years. Is that correct?
That's a really good point. Yes, so it does include that. So for instance, we have a student this year who got her CDOS credential. and it was her cohort graduating year. However, she's coming back next year to take more classes so that she earns her diploma in her 5th year. So yes, that shows a dropout. Yeah, I know.
Stacy, correct me if I'm wrong, though, they'll go back and readjust that when she comes back?
I don't think so. They have to graduate with their cohort, is my understanding. Yeah,
That doesn't seem proper considering they can go till the 21, correct?
correct. Yes. So how do we address, these points that are lost? So in the graduation category, I think, one of the things is if they can't receive a diploma, there's not a whole lot we can do, but we want to make sure that we're really being mindful of who is alternately assessed. It's a huge decision to say that a student can never get a diploma. So there is a flow chart that we use in order to make sure that a student is, qualifies for the NYSA. In terms of the CDOS, we want to also make sure that we're giving every student every single opportunity to get a diploma, and we're giving them the most support that they can possibly have to get that diploma, and so that they can get that Regents and a CDOS. In terms of the other thing that we lost a point is school age and separate settings. So separate settings does not include BoCEs. Separate settings includes private school, homebound students, or students in hospital settings. So we had 6.82% of our 88 classified students in a separate setting. It needs to be less than 4.8%. So how do we address that? So one of the things how we can address that is developing programs in district. Right now, it's very hard for us to do that because we have students that are out of district, that some are alternately assessed, but they're in all different grade levels. So we can't form programs of one student. The students that we have in our separate settings, many are alternately assessed, and they need those levels of support to be able to be successful. And that we don't have that level of support in district right now. So any questions about this before I go forward? Okay.
Oh, hold on. Those
Yeah.
last students would be like people, for instance, at Mary Cariola,
Yes.
something like that. Well, small districts are never going to have the services that those out-of-district placements provide. So we do the best we can by trying to get them the best placement we can, but it counts against us.
Yes.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yes.
I just thought I'd.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it sounds counterintuitive, right? So I gave you the IDEA accountability determination chart, which shows you many of the state performance plan indicators. And if you're interested in how we performed like in the past and even going forward in those state performance indicators, you can go to data.nysit.gov and it'll give you all of that information. So before I conclude, I also wanted to mention that in the fall, I and hopefully our 1211 teachers will be presenting on what is happening in our 1211 programs. I am super proud of what our teachers and our students have accomplished in these programs. And I want the teachers to come and tell you themselves so that we can also celebrate them. And so that concludes my presentation today. Any questions?
All right, very
Okay.
good. Thank you, Stacy.
All right, thank you.
Stacy's completing year 2, remember, as our PPS director and has been doing an absolutely exceptional job. So thank you, Stacy, very much. Okay, our next presenter is here to update us on the capital improvement project. So please welcome TAMCO's Bill Christensen to the podium.
Thank you. Okay, there we go. Oh, congratulations, I think, Chris, you're the new board member. Yeah, welcome. I'm Bill Christensen with TAMCO Management Group. Not sure through the years who I meet and don't meet. So, and congratulations to Jermaine. I almost called you Jerry. Thanks for having me again. I'm just going to give you a quick update. I started going through a bunch of pictures today. I was going to show you a bunch of things, but it's just a bunch of a mess right now. So just want to kind of touch on, we're about week 2 of the main part of the construction. Most of the demo is going to be completed by Friday. So a lot of the demo, and what I mean by demo is there's a lot of holes being cut through walls for basically HVAC pipes, plumbing, updates like that. You'll notice if you walk through the hallways, a lot of the ceiling tiles are out. All of that is making access for your PA project that's going on, along with a lot of electrical work that's starting to go on right now. Outside, you notice your entryway is pretty much gone at this point in time. The footers for the canopy will start either Friday or Monday. I would bet more on Monday than a Friday, but that is getting ready to start right now. The bus garage is in pretty good shape. We ran into a little bit of a snag with the HVAC and some fire dampers, but those are on site now, so those will be put in, and that job should be able to be finished up here real soon. Overall, schedule-wise, we're not too concerned about schedule. It's easy to say in the second week. Right now, a lot of my time is spent back in the office confirming with contractors that orders have actually been placed, copies of their purchase orders. They can take their costs off. I don't care. I just want to know that things have been ordered, material starting to arrive. You have a parking lot full of material. Don't be misled by that. That's roofing. That takes up a lot of room. It's a thing. But we also have orders in for a lot of lights that are coming in, along with your gym right now. All the ceiling is out of the gym. The HVAC ductwork will be completed by Friday is what they're anticipating. The ceiling will start to go back in. The floor has been ordered. I don't have a ship date on that, but that I hopefully have confirmed by Friday. So a lot of moving pieces right now. Your on-site person is Mike Mancini, who's here every day, and then Brian's here at least once. He spent most of today here, basically walking through and heading off the infamous change orders and RFIs and things like that. You're about 85% through submittals. You might remember way back when we talked about a project, submittals is one of the most time-consuming. It's the thing I get the most concerned about. Everyone gets excited to get started. Nothing really starts in public construction until submittals are approved and are moving through the process. So you're at about 85%, which is exceptional. My target benchmark, which someone will watch this and find out, is somewhere between 50 to 60 right now. You're at about 85%, which is good. Main reason for that is you do have items that have long lead items. We're working through bleachers. We're working through things like that that need to make sure we have honest ship dates with that. A lot of things get thrown out there around labor. Your labor, I get a daily labor report, has been exceptional. I will tell you, job-wise, based on your volume, you're probably double what I would expect, and I hope they're not listening, of what you would expect right now on site. So it looks pretty good. Obviously, the playground is 3/4 of the way demoed. There is a lot of dirt work that now will start to occur to get that ready for the final grade, to then for the community to come in and actually build the final piece of it. So that's kind of where we're at financially. No surprises so far. A few things we've been able to troubleshoot in the field, some field coordination that Brian has handled. But right now, there's nothing big hanging out there that is really missing or things like that. We've worked through that with the engineers. So no real concerns. It's great to do this in early July. At this point, things look pretty good. As I said to Superintendent Fluke, I'd be happy to come back. Obviously, either your next meeting or the September meeting, you'll have a lot more. If I'm not here in August, then you'll see a written report as part of I will send to the superintendent ahead of time with the pictures and where we're at financially and things like that. As I've said to you early on, I never talk publicly about anything financial, but I know Derek has all the latest and greatest with that. Pay apps are in for the first month. They're not in the hands of Derek yet. That we are working through. There's a process that they go through. We need them certified by the architect and then turned in. They will start to, so you'll start to see those as through the process, depending on how I believe you approve them. That's your process right now. Okay. So with that, so any questions so far? We seem to be moving on wood pretty good right now. Nothing of real concern. I came out obviously this afternoon for this, but I'll visit. I did notice a couple of things. I just sent pictures back. Our quality control person is Tom Ellerson on this job. He will come out. I'm looking at next week, but I think I'll have him wait to the following week. He starts to measure against drawings. So in other words, when those footers go in the ground, they need to be per the plan per the code, per everything. So he will come out and do those measurements. We use GPS technology and things for that. But your site contractor also uses GPS, which is so wonderful to hear. When they don't do that and start hand digging things, we start to worry. So he's done a great job. Really been a pleasure to work with him and all the contractors. Each of them have their different ways of doing things. In the public world, we're pretty adamant that it's this process. This is the process you follow, and this is the way it has to be done. So, because at the end, jobs are always audited. DOL is always watching. And as I always say to every school board, you will probably get a FOIL request somewhere in the summer from, whether it be from one of the local unions, whether it be from DOL themselves, all normal. And I'll work with Derek on getting those responses. But there's a lot of attention on public construction, obviously. Through the state, there's hundreds, probably billions of dollars going on right now. So any questions on the current project? I just want to touch real quickly on your EPC, as you know, your other project that is going on. We're in the final stages of that. That is moving right along. I'm working closely with Jeff Day. Obviously, Day Automation did sell to Stark, but Jeff is still intricately involved in day-to-day. Him and I have worked together on, him and I were joking the other day, too many projects to name at this point. Your material is definitely, we have ship dates. We have all of that in the works. Right now, we're working with the architect to get the final approvals. It does take a little bit of time. EPCs are a little bit different than a regular project where they're just reviewed for drawings and code and things like that. You have a financial component to the EPC. As you know, you promise the payback to be within a certain amount of time. That's reviewed by not only SED, but by the Department of Budget. So that's typically where I need to get involved at the very end with them when we run the numbers. I've run your numbers, Jeff's run your numbers. You're well within the thresholds right now. So I don't see any concerns with it. It's just moving it through the process, you know, as we like to say with the state. And summertime can be a little slow on their end, but no worries there. We're right where we thought we would be with that at this point. So we're in good shape. No surprises budget-wise. You have a fixed amount through your referendum. That's what the cost is going to be. So that's, like I say to them, there's no changes. I don't hear about change orders. It is what it is. You're going to put in what's been designed. So, and Jeff's on board. So any questions on that?
I just have one question.
Yeah,
I
go
don't,
ahead.
it's very specific. So
No,
I was
go
asked by
ahead.
a community member.
Yep, go ahead.
Well, I know you can't really answer this, but hopefully we're on time for anything and the gym floors will be done before school starts.
I'm not as concerned about the gym
Okay.
floors as I am the one gym floor for sure will be I believe the elementary school that we're in right now. Now the high school gym, I believe we're doing later. Correct. Yeah, that one's a little bit later. But the elementary school right now, according to our schedule, are about a week ahead as far as where they're at right now. Getting the gym material floor, the floor itself is always the tricky part on lead times. But I have not heard that that's a real concern at this point. But part of the list I mentioned about calling manufacturers, I'll have a ship date directly from the horse's mouth, not from nothing against the contractor,
Yeah.
from them.
All right.
Yeah.
And
Like
my
that.
second question is with the elementary gym, is there still going to be able to put like nets up for volleyball to play up there?
Yeah, that was just talked about this week
Okay.
with the
So I was asking.
stanchions that go in the ground that basically they're in there. I got to check with Brian exactly what the final outcome was, but I don't believe a drawing showed them, and I'll talk with Derek and them about them. But the time to do it is when the floor is going in. That I can tell you.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure it's
Yeah,
on the radar.
yeah, you're not talking high dollar items here, but once the floor is in, you do not want to drill through a finished floor. No, do that.
Thank you.
Yep, I'll confirm that though.
I was asked about the potential for volleyball up there as well. And I thought that at one point we had discussed that those were going in.
We did.
That's what I thought.
We did. And I did have Brian confirm. It got to me Monday. I want to say Monday. It could have been last week, Friday. That the contractor said they didn't owe them. Brian looked into that. I'm not exactly sure. It's like one of those field things that get worked out. A problem like that, I don't want to say is not a problem, but if the floor was already going to be a problem. But as far as getting the stanchions, things like that, they're pretty routine items to be able to put in and return it to. There are comments in the drawings that say return it to the condition that, basically the capability it was in. Then when you look at a drawing, my understanding is you don't see them. We go back and forth as who owes what. But nonetheless, we're not talking about enough to concern with it. But I'll double check on that.
All right. Thank you.
Anything else? All right. Thank you all. Great seeing you again. We see a lot of us
Thank you very
this
much.
summer. So thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Bill, and we look forward to seeing you in either August or September for another update. Thank you so much. All right, and moving on to updates on our end. Today, our leadership team spent the day at FLCC for the Wayne Finger Lakes Leadership Academy Conference. There were 2 keynote speakers who were outstanding. We also participated in breakout sessions, tabletop exercises, job-alike networking groups, giving us the opportunity to collaborate with colleagues from across the region. Our team is looking forward to day 2 tomorrow, which will focus on community engagement and professional learning. So Stacy and Derek were there as well today. Looking ahead at the fall sports season. So here, pictured here, registration will be open on July 27th. To help families prepare, our school medical director will be here on July 16th to complete required health exams for student athletes. As we get closer to the season, we'll also be holding our annual mandatory coaches meetings during the week of August 17th, followed by our mandatory parent, guardian, coach, and athlete meeting for students in grades 7-12 on Monday, August 24th. Fall sports officially begin on August 24th for our varsity and JV teams, with our modified teams starting on August 31st. So we look forward to rolling out our new coaches handbook as well for the first time this year. And an update on boys soccer. Based on the current registration numbers, we have approximately 21 students in grade 7-12 interested in playing. Unfortunately, those numbers might not support fielding a safe and sustainable varsity team at this time. So we're evaluating 2 options: a JV team or a modified A team. So while also continuing conversations with Bloomfield about possible merger. So we're still waiting on them to make final decisions there. That is still something that we are hoping happens, but again, waiting on them to make a final decision. Questions about that? All right, even though it's summer, instructional work hasn't slowed down. Our elementary staff will be here next week to begin CKLA training as we prepare for implementation there. Also, before the school year ended, our teachers spent a significant amount of time analyzing student reading and math data. That work allowed us to create elementary win groups and determine middle school AIS placements so that we're able to start the school year in September, that first week of school, with our intervention group. So we're really excited about that. We're also continuing our portrait of a graduate work and strengthening our MTSS framework for reading, ensuring we have strong systems in place to meet the needs of every learner from day 1. Our Director of Curriculum and Instruction, in collaboration with our BOCES team, has led the redesign of our instructional support team, which was IST, which is now going to become EST, the Educational Support Team. So this work included creating a new handbook, updating forms and procedures, establishing meeting schedules, and developing staff training to assure a more consistent and effective approach to supporting students. Our new EST coordinator is Gretchen. She is one of our speech therapists. She's going to come out in the fall to talk a little bit about the new process as well. Erica is also hard at work to prepare for the new school year by coordinating science of reading, professional learning, and new teacher orientation. All right, and behind the scenes, the tech team is completing the on and offboarding process for retirees and graduating seniors while preparing systems for the new school year. So that's happening now. We're also clarifying leadership and clerical roles. We're doing that as a leadership team so that everyone begins the new school year with clear expectations about what all of our jobs entail. This work supports both efficiency and accountability across the district. And then finally, we're continuing to move our strategic plan from the planning stage to the implementation stage. Each of you has received a copy of our strategic plan. We're calling it the Bulldog Blueprint, so you have that in front of you. This year it was developed by our strategic strategic design team comprised of members from all of our different stakeholder groups, 2 of whom were board members. This roadmap reflects our community's shared vision for the knowledge, skills, and attributes that we want every Honeoye graduate to possess. And you'll notice that we have it broken down into our secondary, a portrait of a graduate. So you'll look at grades 7 through 12, and then what our elementary portrait of a graduate looks like, what our elementary students will be expected to be able to do by the time they complete 5th grade. So please take that. The last page is still a work in progress, but for the most part, pages 1 through 7 are complete. So we are still in the process of editing. So board members, if you have any questions or suggestions, please send them my way. We still have about a month of time to edit before the final plan is created. Questions about that? All right, and that concludes the superintendent's report this evening. Thank you.
Okay, then we will move along with the consent agenda. We will have the minutes from June 17th board meeting and June 23 board workshop, as well as the CSE minutes. Could I get a motion to approve the minutes? And a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that's carried. Moving on to personnel. We have a 10-year. Do we want to take all these separately because there's different things here? Okay, we'll take them one at a time. Is that all right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. The first one is a 10-year. So a motion to grant tenure to Allison Badger in the 10-year area of elementary effective August 31st of 2026. I need a motion. Okay, Megan moves. Then second? Jermaine seconds. Any discussion? Oh, can we turn off some of the microphones that aren't being used? Jermaine, the one on the podium's still on too. Could you turn that off, please? Thank you. Maybe that'll help. Between the feedback and it's okay. They were all showing up as used and nobody could say anything. Any discussion? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, then that is carried. Then we have a termination. I am looking for a motion to terminate an employee. It would be a bus driver effective June 30th, 2026. I need a motion there.
I'll move.
A second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Does anyone want to table this or not? No? Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that is carried. Next is a resignation. So we have, I'm looking for a motion to accept the resignation of Katie Meek as the 26-27 second, third grade level chair effective June 29th of 2026. Can I get a motion for that, to accept that, please?
I'll move.
A second?
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that is carried. Moving on to appointments. Again, a very lengthy list. Is everyone okay with doing these all together, or do we want to separate any out? All together? Right. Motion to approve the appointments on our list would be an elementary teacher, teacher assistants, 26-27 intramural supervisors, elementary grade level department chairs, a mentor. There's bus drivers, 26-27 committee on special education, 26-27 Committee on Preschool Special Education, 26-27 504 Accommodation Plan Committee, 26-27 CSE Referral Designees, 26-27 Impartial Hearing Officers, and the subcommittees for the board, which would be the audit committee and the visitation committees, which are the entire board. Yes, Jermaine, any questions? Yeah, do you mind? Okay, all right. Can I get a motion on those?
I'll move.
Okay, in a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion, questions? Can you use your microphone? Sorry.
I might be mistaken, don't we usually appoint also people to the other subcommittees at this point? The finance committee and the policy committee, or is that later and I've missed that?
So we usually do, and if you recall, I brought up that I attended one of those conferences and they suggested waiting until August or September.
I apologize. I do remember that
Okay,
now.
so we're gonna wait a little later. That way Chris gets his feet under him, and then Karen wants to join anything. That way everybody's can ask questions and find out whatever they would like to know before they jump into something that they decide they really were sorry they did. Or just don't have time or whatever happens. Is there any more discussion? All right, then all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that is carried. Moving on to new business, old business, we have an invoice from Capital Region BoCES number 31726F. I need a motion to approve.
I'll move.
In a second? Any discussion? We're all set there? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that is carried. Moving on to contracts, I have to have a motion to approve the 26-27 Ontario County SRO, Ontario County 2026 tax bill preparation, Thompson Health Athletic Trainer, Rush Henrietta Central School District, and Brighton Central School District. Can I get a motion to approve those contracts?
I'll move.
In a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? All right.
I
you
have
do?
just one
Okay.
question. With our athletic trainer, did we decide they're set out, can you remind me if there's set hours or what we're doing in regards to that? Now that we do.
So we have flexibility on the hours.
That's-
So depending based off of need, but then we are going to have the athletic trainer come weekly just for preventative maintenance type
Okay.
work.
Because I know people are going to ask. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions, comments? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that's carried. Moving on to obsolete items. Again, we have a lengthy list. I'm looking for a motion to declare the items as obsolete and discard them. These would be from the technology department. Any motion?
I'll move.
A second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion?
I just have a quick question in
Sure.
case anybody knows. Do these go to one of those electronic recycling places, so they're all wiped clean and all that stuff? I figured that, but
Anything else? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that is carried. Next is the substitute rate of pay, which we do annually. This is to approve the substitute pay rate for the substitute bus driver at $23.15 an hour effective July 1st, 2026. So I need a motion to approve.
I'll move.
And a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that is carried. Next is independent educational evaluations. I need a motion to approve the following: the evaluator list and the policy. Need a motion.
I'll move.
In a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that is carried. Next is capital improvement project. We have invoices, one from Tamco, 3 from Play by Design, and 1 from Day Automation. I need a motion to approve.
I'll move.
A second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, that is carried. Next, you will have information for the board. I also have comments from the board. Is there anything comments from anybody? No? The only thing I want to say is, if you have not gone in and filled out your availability for the August retreat dates that Jen sent out, please make sure that you get that done. And Jen, I had one question. You're okay. It's okay. I just had one question. Earlier on in the agenda where it says TBD for the rep of the BOCES Board of Ed and the Ford County School Board Association Board of Directors and Delegate, do we need to do those all tonight? Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I wrote myself a note and put it on the wrong piece of paper. So I wanted to make sure we didn't skip something. Okay. Does anyone have anything else for comments from the board? Okay. Do we need to go into executive session for anything?
We don't, but I just want to make sure, I didn't hear Tori say the 2 new bus driver hires.
Yes, they're on there.
Oh,
We
they are.
did them,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I just wanted to
Nope.
make sure when you
Yes.
were reading down the list,
Yes.
I didn't, okay, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. So no need for executive. Nobody? Okay. All right, then I would be looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
And a second, all right. Is there any discussion before we adjourn? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, then we are adjourned. Thank you and good night.
Agendas.